So we in Jeremiah, the second chapter, and verse 26. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, the kings, the princes, and their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, remember Moses said in Deuteronomy 28:64, we're going to worship wood and stone, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. But they have turned their back unto me. Hear that? That's what I'm telling you. We said, forget you, Most High. We don't need you. That's what we said to him. What he say? They have turned their back unto me and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, and trouble is at hand. We're in the time of Jacob's trouble. In the time of their trouble, they will say, arise. I ain't gonna be talking about Krum Yashua. I'm gonna be talking about Krum Abanawi, Most High. Please, please help us. In the time of their trouble, they're gonna say, well, arise and save us. Don't wait until that time come for you. You better have a relationship with him before this. But where are thy gods that thou hast made? That thou hast made thee. Let them arise. Call on them, he's saying. A lot of your guys is your own mind, your own conscience. You your own power. You don't counsel the Most High. Ain't nobody praising the Most High. There's something negative happen. Y'all, who gonna be saying praise the Most High? Nobody saying praise the Most High. He done brought it on you. You thinking of a way to get out of it on your own. You ain't got nothing to do with him no more. Think about it. When something good happened, you feel that you've been blessed, some kind of, oh, praise the Most High, praise the Most High. But when something bad is happening, nobody praising the Most High. I was looking I lost my bag. I don't know what I did with it. I said, Most High. I looked down, it was right there. Oh, praise the Most. It was right. I said, Most High. I was getting ready to talk to him. I said, Most High. And I looked down, it was right there. I had to look at it everywhere for it. I couldn't find it nowhere. I said, Most High. And it was right there. I mean, right there. That was, man, that's amazing to me. Might not be nothing to y'all, but it's something to me when I look at the things that he just show up and just let you know that he exists. I gotta understand, man. He said, but where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah. Hear that? We ain't talking about the northern tribe, we talking about the southern tribe, Judah, because most of the Bibles talk about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And the other tribes, or the northern tribes that was with us, you know what I mean? But mainly Judah. That's why he say, for according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah. And Judah is desolate, y'all. Beautiful land. I mean, that's the Fertile Crescent where he gave us. The best land in the world. And nothing grows there. Beautiful land. That's why you can go on my YouTube page, Freestyle Wam. I got Jerusalem as never seen before. I mean, you see miles and miles and miles and miles. We ain't talking about desert, we talking about land. Beautiful ground. And it's desolate, like he said he gonna make it. It's desolate. That's why he said. For according to the number of thy cities, many cities are thy gods, thy idols, O Judah. Remember we say he's going to scatter us among these other nations, we're going to serve wood and stone. But here in our own cities, what do he say? But they have turned their back unto me and not their face. And he told us, remember he told us in Hosea 5:15. Go back there, because You wonder why the things that we going through, because we turn our face away from him instead of toward him. And what it means is hip talk. It's like, do what I say do. And stop doing the things that I'm telling you not supposed to do. Hosea 5:15. I will go and return to my place. So I ain't dealing with y'all no more. I'm going to my place. Till they acknowledge their offense. Till we acknowledge that we have sinned against him. And seek my face, right? That's what he said, seek my face. What did he say we did? Jeremiah 2:27. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face. See? But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise, say and save us. That's where we at, y'all. He said, and seek my face in Hosea 5:15. He said, in their affliction, they will seek me early. So he said, hey, we're going to be hollering, please save us, save us, save us. Too many times he'd have told us over and over again. Go to Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Look what he said. Verse 7. Well, let's look at verse 5. Well, let's read 4. And these are the words that the Most High hath spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah, the northern tribes and the southern tribes, representing all 12 tribes, right? But thus said the Most High, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man does travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail? In our affliction, we're going to seek him early. In the time of our trouble, we say, rise, Most High, we're going to save us. Why do I see a man with his hands on his loins? As a woman in travail, that's a woman having contractions, having a baby. He's talking about. In all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great. You hear this? That day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. Why are we going to say, oh, rise, Most High, save us. Crumb, Most High, crumb, Most High. Ain't going to be no crumb Yasharala then. You going to learn. You ain't learned by now. You going to learn to say, crumb, Abanawa, Most High. That's rise, our Father, Most High. He said, this time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. See? But it's still, we got to deal with it. And we got to know how we're going to be saved out of it. What we have to do, at least in my mind, what do we have to do to be saved out of these times of Jacob's trouble? Going back to Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. Verse 27 says, to end he say, but in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us. Come up now, Most High, save us. But where are thy gods? Where are your powers that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. You hear this? What he's saying? For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah. We got all kind of things going on with us, man, as a people. Wherefore will ye plead with me? Ye all have transgressed against me, said the Most High. You hear that? Say, we all done transgressed against the Most High. In vain have I smitten your children. In vain did I kill your children. They receive no correction. Your own sword have devoured your prophets. Like a devouring lion, we killed the prophets, man. O generation, see the word of the Most High. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are masters. We will come no more unto thee. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire, beautiful attire that she'll have for her wedding? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. Hear that? So you wonder why we went through the things we going through, went through, I say, and the things that we going through and gonna go through in Jacob's trouble. What'd he say? He said, my people have forgotten me days without number. Say, days without number. Say, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? It says, therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Now, what room do we have to brag so much? He said, why tremblest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. We taught the wicked ones our ways. How to be wicked. Also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. Yet thou sayest, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with thee, because thou sayest, I have not sinned. Why gatherest thou about so much to change thy way? Thou also shalt be ashamed of Egypt, as thou was ashamed of Assyria. That's captivity. Yeah, thou shalt go forth from him, and thine hands upon thine head. But the Most High have rejected thy confidences, and thou shalt not prosper in them. Your pride he's talking about. He rejected you for your pride. Matter of fact, he hates you because of your pride. You being prideful. Thinking that you all that. Oh man, if that ain't man. Look, go to Ecclesiasticus 23, verse 4. O Most High, Father and power of my life, give me not a proud look, but turn away from thy servants always a haughty mind, a prideful mind. Turn away from me vain hopes, worthless hopes, and concupiscences, lustful thinking. And thou shalt hold him up that is desirous always to serve. This is terrible because the Most High's not with this. He's not with that type of mindset. Understand, overstand this. When you are prideful, look at Ecclesiasticus 10 and verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High. So somebody that's prideful, they're not going to be hallelujah to the Most High. They're not going to be giving the Most High the glory for everything because they done turned away from him. It says, the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart, which is your mind, is turned away from his maker. So this is what the devil has done to our people, and our people that are the devil have done to our people also. Understand this. And having them depart from the Most High in pride. Remember, he said the seed's going to be troubled because of their pride. People got this arrogancy. That's why I say Most High hate you if you poor and prideful. What you got to be prideful about? You ain't got nothing. You know what you have that you can really be prideful about. So you rich with this truth. This is our riches right here, understanding this truth. But you can think if you want to that you can keep rolling in that way. Look what it said. Ecclesiastes 10:7. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. You hear that? Verse 13. For pride is the beginning of sin, which is the transgression of the Most High's laws, his commandments. And he that hath it shall pour out abomination. You know, people always got to be, somebody got to exalt you. You got to be out there where you could be, or you got to be the one that's got to be the center of attention all the time. That's a prideful person. And they probably got inside, they got some things that they need to deal with themselves. The mirrors, they need to look at them mirrors. Say, oh, I got this problem. Look in that mirror, oh, I got this problem. Look in that mirror, I got that problem. Look in that mirror, I got this problem. Look at that mirror, I got this problem. All these different mirrors that they look at and examine themselves, but when they come out of the mirrors looking at all these problems, woe is me, then they want to be prideful. And when you look deep into their spirit, you find out there's all kind of hanks, as my old man would say, hanks all over them and in them. Different spirits that they're dealing with. And act like you don't see me. That's why I did a lesson on you don't see me spirits. See right through them. But that pride is a damnable thing, man. For pride is beginning to sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Most High brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly. Understand, overstand this. It's real, y'all. So, we dealing with these things because we don't want to submit to the Most High as we should. Therefore, the only thing you have to go on is your, first and foremost, your I thou. You are thou, which is I, like they say, I thou. You the I is you, and you the thou. Thou has no power. I thou. But you that I thou. When you look at yourself, you are I thou. You ain't dealing with the Most High. Man, you dealing with yourself. Most High only exists whenever he do something good for you. Like Job said, Job was vexed from his head to his toe. He said, hey, came in the world with nothing, gonna leave with nothing. Rich as ever. He ain't cursed the Most High. Only problem he had was that he thought he was righteous. He said he was righteous. Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's why we got examples here to go by. Hosea, the 8th chapter. Hosea, the 8th chapter. And we've been dealing with idolatry from the beginning, man. Hosea said, don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Hey, let's do it. We always been jacked up. Look, Hosea, the 8th chapter. Let's start at verse 2. Israel, that's we the Israelites, shall cry unto me, my power, we know thee. They're going to cry unto the Most High. We know thee. Crying out to the Most High. Israel have cast off the thing that is good. The enemy shall pursue him. Israel have cast off the thing that is good. What's good? Israel done cast off the thing that is good, right? What's good? Let's find out what Israel done cast off, first and foremost. Matthew 19 and 16. What's good? I know a lot of y'all say, how you doing? I'm good. Let's see who's good, though. Matthew 19, 16. And behold, and that's something new. Always something to have your mind deceived, to have you doing things and following the crowd that's set up to send you straight to hell. But listen, and behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? But y'all say y'all good, right? And he's calling on Mashiach good. Listen to what he said. And he said unto him, first and foremost, why callest thou me good? Remember what he said? We hear because he said, Israel have cast off the thing that is good. Mashiach said, Matthew 19, 17, and he said unto him, why callest thou me good? Listen at this carefully. There is none good but one, but you good. How you doing? I'm good. Everybody's saying that. That's something new. You ain't say that years and years ago. Nobody was saying that. They say, I'm cool, I'm all right. But y'all say y'all good. But listen, say, there is none good but one. That is the Most High. He wouldn't even allow nobody to call him good. So he ain't never say I'm good. How you doing, Mashiach Yahushua? I'm good. He never said that. He would say, ain't nobody good but the Most High. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. You want everlasting life? He said, keep the commandments, right? So the Most High is good. What did he say? Hosea 8 and 4, 3. Israel has cast off the thing that is good, right? So the Most High is good. They didn't cast the Most High off. And what else they cast off? Romans 7 and 12. So these things you should remember, because no matter what topic, we still gonna have to go back to these same scriptures to prove what it is that is being said with understanding. Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy. These are laws of the Most High that he wrote with the finger of the Most High that we read about last night. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy and just and good. See? So the Most High is good, and his commandments that he gave us and his laws that he gave us are good. Going back to Hosea 8 and 3. Israel has cast off the thing that is good. We done cast off the Most High in idolatry. Cast off his laws. Right now saying we ain't under the law. The enemy have pursued him. Our enemies pursued us because we left the Most High alone. And the enemy gonna come for you. We're already talking about Jacob's trouble. The enemy is coming for us. And is the Most High gonna be with you, or he's not gonna be with you? Everything is a balance. He's either gonna be with you, or he's not gonna be with you. Or you're gonna be caught up with the world and the people of the world that don't know a damn thing about what they should know to be able to help you to be saved. And you're gonna be right there with them, being destroyed. That's what he's saying. Or everybody gonna be destroyed and you're gonna be saved. Is that something? The enemy shall pursue him. Now you know, the devil know he got a short time coming down with much wrath on us today. Then he coming down upon those that keep the commandments of the Most High and have the true testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. But we got the Most High. The power of powers that control everything. That's why it's important to have a relationship with him. Give him all glory and honor. Listen, verse 4. They have set up kings, but not by me. You know that? They just set up kings, but not by me. He told us, hey, we're gonna have to deal now. We're dealing with an unjust king. It tells us in Song 3 Holy Children, verse 9. No matter who set up over us. He said, Most High said, but not by me. We set up kings, but not by the Most High. They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold have they made them idols. Hear that? The silver and gold made idols, that they may be cut off. You see? So that's why it's important to realize that some things that we deal with, that we not including the Most High, that's idolatry. He ain't involved in it. I mean, his name jealous, but the people ain't thinking about that. But when he come for your butt, what you gonna say? He say you gonna know it when his visitation. This is what he say, thy calf, O Samaria, talking to the northern kingdom, have cast thee off. Mine anger is kindled against them. How long will it be ere they attain to innocency? You think you doing something that the Most High ain't gonna deal with you, and you innocent? You got all these different idols and spiritual fornications that's going on within your life that you ain't trying to get right? It's easy for us to point the finger at somebody else. That's what we always have done. It was their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. It's your fault. It's my fault. It's your fault for whatever it is I'm doing myself. It's your fault for whatever you doing yourself. That's what we always done. That's why the Most High, oh, thy calf, O Samaria, have cast thee off. My anger is kindled against them. How long will it be ere that attain to innocency? Like you so innocent. For from Israel was it also. The workmen made it. Made this calf. They made 2 calves at that. Therefore it is not the Most High, but the calf of Samaria shall be broken in pieces. For they have sworn the wind. For they have sown the wind, and they have reaped the whirlwind. It hath not no stock. The bud shall yield no meal. If so be it yield, the stranger shall swallow it up. Why? Because he said Israel is swallowed up, going into captivity. Now shall she be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. That's why you see them going to Corinthians, going to the Thessalonians, going to the Romans, and all the other books of the New Testament that we were scattered in these lands, trying to bring them back to the light, out of darkness. For they have gone up to Assyria. That's captivity. Let us know we in captivity. A wild ass alone by himself, Ephraim, have hired lovers. Yeah, though they have hired among the nations, going with these other nations. Most I say we ain't supposed to be dealing with interracial marriages and learning their ways. Now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes. But Ephraim have made many altars to sin. Altars shall be unto him to sin. Many altars to sin. You got to understand, man. You got to hear this and look at how the Most High feel about even bringing this out and reminding him of it right now. How hurtful he felt. He said, I love Jacob. And we made some altars. We made altars and sin altars, calves and all kind of abominations that we learned in Egypt, captivity and so forth. And things that we say we came with our own inventions to worship, to displease the Most High. And yet here we are thinking we innocent. Go to Acts, the 14th chapter. Acts 14, look at verse 1. And it came to pass in Iconium that they went both together into the synagogue of the Jews, and so spake that a great multitude, both of the Jews and also of the Greeks, believed. So now you see this, and you'll think he's talking about the Israelites and the so-called white people, but it's not. It's talking about the Greek-speaking Jews are called Hellenists, which is Greek-speaking Jews. Because remember, during the time of the Greek Empire, if you go to getting right to the point in 2 Maccabees 6 and 6, this during the Greek Empire, we're in the Roman Empire here, when Mashiach Shai walked the earth. But when you look at 2 Ezra 6 and 6, this in the Greek Empire, long before Mashiach Shai came on the earth and long before the Roman Empire. This is how we were dealing. Just like right now, you'll see. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Hear that? That's why you see Greek. Because the Greeks are the Romans, and we're in the Roman Empire, and they have for all these years not been calling themselves Israelites. Because it was against the law to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Neither was it lawful or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. That's why you see Paul's writings in the beginning of these chapters, why I'm finding who is it talking to. The Israelites that are in these different lands. James 1 and 1 is clear. Without a shadow of a doubt. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings, brethren. The Israelites. Point blank. So if you're not an Israelite, you can't go in the book of James says talking to you. Come on. Let's keep it real. And that's why you see both of the Jews and also of the Greeks believe. You see? But the unbelieving Jews stirred up the Gentiles, which are these Israelites that's calling themselves Greeks, Greek-speaking Jews. They stirred up those Israelites and made their minds evil, affected against the brethren. You see? Like a lot of people are doing now, making their minds evil against us and teaching us truth. But they won't challenge us precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, or what this Bible is talking about, subject matters and so forth. Where is that? Because they can't. And they ain't bragging, it's just the real. As can be. That's why we in the position we in now. Look at start at verse 6. They were aware of it and fled unto Lystra and Derbe, cities of Lycaonia, and unto the region that lieth round about. So all the time, we had to be fleeing from these people. Our people and those that were wicked, stirring up people to be against us. And there they preached the gospel. And there sat a certain man at Lystra, impotent in his feet, being a cripple from his mother's womb, who never had walked. He had never walked. He was crippled from his mother's womb. The same heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him, and perceiving that he had faith to be healed. So you got to have faith in the first place. You have to have faith. Like the woman that had the blood issue for 12 years. She said she believed that all she had to do was touch the hem of Mashiach Shai fringes in his garment, and she's going to be healed. And he would always say, your faith has healed you. Your belief in the Most High have healed you. That's the kind of faith we got to have. Listen. Verse 10. Said with a loud voice, stand up. Said with a loud voice, stand upright on thy feet. And he leaped and walked. And when the people saw what Paul had done, they lifted up their voices, saying, in the speech of Lycaonia, the gods have come down to us in the likeness of men. See that? That's how off we were. And they called Barnabas Jupiter, planet. They called Barnabas Jupiter, and Paul Mercury. or Mercurius, because he was their chief speaker. Then the priest of Jupiter, which was before their city, brought oxen and garlands unto the gates, and would have done sacrifice with the people. Hear that? The priest of Jupiter. These are the names of their gods, which when the apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of, they rent their clothes, tore their clothes, and ran in among the people, crying out and saying, Sirs, why do you these things? Why are you doing these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that ye should turn from these vanities unto the living power, which made heaven and earth and the sea and all things that are therein, who in times past suffered all nations to walk in their own ways. Nevertheless, he left not himself without witness, in that he did good and gave us rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness. And with these sayings scarce refrained they the people, that they had not done sacrifice unto them. And there came thither certain Jews from Antioch and Iconium, who persuaded the people, and having stoned Paul, drew him out of the city, supposing he had been dead. Wicked Israelites, man, come on. They stoned him. Thought he was dead. Threw him out of the city, supposing he was dead. Howbeit, as the disciples stood round about him, he rose up, but in his time, and came into the city. And the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. And when they had preached the gospel to that city, and had taught many, they returned again to Lystra, and to Iconium, and Antioch, confirming the souls of the disciples, and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. I'm going to read it to you again. What they tell them? And that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. One more time. And that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So, these are the things that you see that they had to go through just to reach our people, to bring them out of this idolatrous type of mindset. They call they call Paul Mercurius. They called Barnabas Jupiter. Come on. All idolatrous. Go to Acts 17. Paul had a job to do, boy. Do what our heart is, boy. Stiff-necked and stout-hearted, as the Most High called us here. Acts the 17th chapter. Start at verse 16. Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to what? Idolatry. He saw the whole city given into idolatry. Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him, disputing with him. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him. And some said, what will this babbler say? Others some, he seemed to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Jesus, Yahushua, and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is. Like this doctrine that I'm speaking is new to a lot of people that don't know the truth. But thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know, therefore, what these things mean. And see, like he said in New Willie Lynch, great grandson's third letter. How? You want to keep some of us? You just put it in the book. Because we don't read. Remember, in slavery, you just put to death for reading. So now our people still have that same mindset of not reading. And Isaiah 34:16 says, seek ye out of the book of the Most High and read. No one of these shall fail. No one shall want her mate. But my mouth it have gathered and my mouth has spoken it. Paraphrasing from the Most High. Seek ye out of the Most High book of the Bible and read. But you got to know how to read it. You can't just read it from Genesis to Revelation. That's not how this is done. You see how the subject matter today is idolatry? Why we all jacked up and not having that relationship with the Most High to allow somebody to come in and just use us? Got $1 trillion, over $1 trillion. And don't have nothing to show for it as a nation. Y'all get on my nerve talking about some group and we ain't no hate group and all this stuff. We ain't no group, we a nation. That's what you've seen come out in this lesson. Verse 20 says, for thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know, therefore, what these things mean. For the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new thing. That's all they doing is talk about whatever they gonna tell or whatever a new thing. That Paul them bringing forth this doctrine of the truth to them. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Remember, he said the first thing he had on that list was ignorant. You ignorantly worship. Him declare I unto you. Remember, you got to understand. Go to, hold that, get Revelation 12 and 9. Revelation 12 and 9. And the great dragon, which is red, when you read verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. So the dragon is red. And that great dragon, which is red, was cast out. That old serpent, which is red, called the devil, which is red, and Satan, which is red, which deceiveth the whole world. You hear that? Deceiveth the whole world. Like I showed you the Bible. They said that's them. And our people believe that the so-called white man will come from heaven and save them. Unbelievable. But believable because I done heard it said. You see? So, going back to Acts 17, verse 23. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God, the unknown power, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Him declare I unto you. Meaning they don't know him. That's why Mashiach Shai, he told the Ethiopian woman this. He said, look, it was in all day, because Salmanessar, when he took the 9.5 tribes out of the northern kingdom and put them in captivity, under the Assyrian captivity, he put them Ethiopians in there. And they brought their guys in there first, and the Most High had lions come in there and eat them up. So they've been there all this time till the Mashiach Shai came on the earth. And this is what he told them in St. John, the 4th chapter, 22nd verse. He said, ye worship, you know not what. We know what we worship. For salvation is of the Jews. Salvation is of the Israelites. You see? That's what he said. It was all, look. Zephaniah 2 and 12. He said what? He said, ye Ethiopians also, Ye shall be slain by my sword. So it is what it is. That's why he say salvation of the Jews. You worship you know not what. We know we worship for salvation of the Jews. So that's why when you look at him talking to the people and telling them, hey, our power, who's the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, anytime he's dealing with the Most High, he's the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, meaning that's who he is. We read in Exodus 3 and 15. They used the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is his name forever and a memorial to all generations. Mashiach Shai identified him as who? The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So you see God, that's the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Who the Most High know? Point blank. That's why I say the first thing they had on Willie Lynch's great-great-grandson, Willie Lynch the third, was what? The first thing they have to deal with us is what? Ignorant. Making us not know. That's why the Spirit had me going through darkness. And people in darkness don't even care. Verse 23, Acts 17. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with the inscription, to the unknown God, to the unknown power, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Like a lot of you ignorantly worshiping an unknown God that's been created by your enemies, or allow you to do the things that you do, and they don't want you to come to this, but they don't want you to learn how to please the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I went through that last night, showing you that they know. They know. They know. We come back to the Most High, this world is finished. All we got to do is come back to the Most High. That's it. We come back to him. That's why I tell you, Ezekiel 39 and 23. Mark that in your Bible. And the heathen, that's these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's see what they know. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel, the family of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, went into captivity. Why? For their iniquity. For breaking the Most High's rules and regulations. His laws, statutes, commandments. Being wicked, being evil. Sinning. Because they trespassed against me. Hear that? That's why we went into captivity, because we trespassed against the Most High. Therefore hid I my face from them. He hid his face from us. Turned his back on us. Like we turned our back on him, he turned his face away from us. And gave them into the hand of their enemies. Not your friends. He said, I gave you to the hands of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. This is what the Most High did. He said, we read in Deuteronomy 28, 1 and 2. So you keep my laws, statutes, commandments, I'm going to bless you above all nations of the earth. But if you don't, I'm going to curse you. And that's where we at, because we didn't. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, thus say the Most High, and hid my face from them, from us. But he said, therefore, thus say the Most High power, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name, which is our name, is Yahshua Allah, and the Most High name as being Yah is in our name. He said for his name's sake, ain't for our sake. After we done borne our, or carried our shame, and all their trespasses, whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. Think about it. We dwelling safely. Nobody could overcome us. Nobody could take us down, because they were knowing that we was following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and everybody was scared of us. I was going to be in the kingdom.
As joined.
This is how it is. When I have brought them again from the people, he going to get us from all these four corners of the earth that he scattered us in, and gathered them out of their enemies' lands. Hear that? That's the Most High going to do this. Don't let no man tell you, come on, let's do this and do that. No. The Most High said, this is what he's going to do. when I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands. See? Not your friends' lands, but your enemies' lands, Yasharallah, 12 tribes of Israel, and am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations. Then shall they know that I am the Most High, their power. See? We gonna know the Most High there. Say, we gonna know that the Most High is our power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. Like we read in Deuteronomy 28:64. But I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left none of them anymore there. Does that sound beautiful? Neither will I hide my face any more from them. But I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, said the Most High power. That's going to be beautiful. That's going to be so beautiful. Look at Jeremiah. Go back to Jeremiah 30. Hallelujah. Right there. Look at verse 3. For lo, the days come, said the Most High, that I will bring again the captivity of my people that he scattered among all these nations. Israel and Judah, that's all 12 tribes, northern tribes and southern tribes, said the Most High, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. He's going to put us back in our land. Look at verse 8. For it shall come to pass, it's the future, in that day, said the Most High, power of hosts, power of armies, power of angels, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck. He's going to break us being ignorant and destroy it for a lack of knowledge. What's on your neck? What's above your neck? Your mind, the way you think. And will burst thy bonds, our captivity. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve the Most High their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, said the Most High, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar. He said he's going to save us from afar, like way over here in this western hemisphere. In thy seed, our children, from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest. Hear that? Jacob going to return and be in rest.